Yes, the recording is started.
Okay. I would like to call the meeting of the St. Louis County Board of Zoning Adjustment to order. The board members present today are Angelia Bills, Vice Chair, and Justin Randall, Member. The Department of Planning staff members are Debbie Nesbitt, Mel Wilson, and Emily Keown. First, I offered into the record the affidavit of publication pertaining to today's meeting, August 11, 2021. The board hereby takes official notice of and admits into evidence on the record the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance, Chapter 10-1003, the St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended, and Chapter 1004, the St. Louis County Revised Ordinance 1974 as amended. Next, I would like to call for a motion to approve the minutes of the previous BZA meeting of July 28, 2021.
So moved.
And I second it. The hearing procedure is informal, but is a teleconference and is recorded. The planning staff will read each request into the record. The petitioner will be unmuted, state their name, and make a brief presentation to the board, explaining the reason and hardship for the requested variance. The board will not consider financial hardships. Board members may ask questions to clarify the facts. When the board is satisfied with the material presented, the chairperson will then ask if there is anyone in favor or opposition to the request. To do so, click the hand next to your name. If any comments were submitted, staff will read them into the record. Before a call for the vote, the petitioner may request a continuance in order to bring in additional documentation. The board may also request a continuance to gather additional information or for a visit to the site. Once comments have been heard, the chairperson will call for a vote at that time. The discussion is ended. No further discussion is permitted. The board will generally make a decision today. Since there are only 2 members present, if the board's vote is split 1-1, the request will be deemed held until a 3rd member is present. If a variance is approved, the petitioner has 6 months to obtain the necessary permits or establish the use requested, or the variance will expire. The petitioner or any interested party has the right of appeal to the St. Louis County Circuit Court. This must be done within 30 days of the decision. Paperwork indicating the board's decision will be mailed to the petitioners.
First, we have 80-21 Oakville Ice Cream LLC, requests an exception to the sign regulations for the purpose of replacing rooftop signage at 4590 Telegraph Road, maintaining the signage 24 inches in lieu of 12 inches above the roof as required by the C8 Planned Commercial District and Section 1003.168 sign regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance and C8 Ordinance 12,782.
Mr. Stone, you are unmuted to give your presentation.
Oh, well, thank you very much. My name is Ron Stone. I'm with Stone Signs. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much. I'm here representing Oberweis Dairy in their effort to make their existing location look much more attractive and have their signs look better than the extremely old signs that are up there now. Ideally, what they'd like to do would be to do upkeep on the signs, not theoretically replace them, just upkeep what they have existing, as they've been upkeeping the whole building with the awning and the siding and all that kind of good stuff. But if we have to replace them, then we'd like to talk about what size we can replace them to, because the existing signs are larger than the signs that are currently allowed by code. There's 2 signs. One of them faces south and one of them faces west. The west one is over the main entrance, which is that picture now. Is there any questions that I can answer about what we're proposing, what we're allowed to do?
Well, I want to make it clear for the board, they're not asking for a sign size increase, just to have the letters above more than 12 inches above the roof.
Okay. Are there any other questions, Justin?
And where are you calling the roof line? Is it at the bottom of the white or at the red white area?
I would say the red and white.
Okay.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
we're looking to keep the signs where they're currently located because all the structure is permanently built into the building there. And we're looking to keep them about a similar size as we've shown.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone in favor or opposition?
I don't see anyone.
Okay. Hearing none. Is that 80? 80-21? Okay, 80-21, I vote to approve the variance as advertised, and the hardship just being the need to increase visibility.
Yeah, and that they're not doing anything more non-conforming than what's already there. I'll concur. Or second.
Yep. Okay.
Next is 8121 Munich, request an exception to the side yard regulations for the purpose of constructing a carport at 11830 Cramper Lane, maintaining a side yard of 7 feet in lieu of 10 feet, as required by the R2 Residence District regulations of the St. Louis County Zoning Ordinance.
Mr. Koenig, you are unmuted to give your presentation.
Hi, how are you guys? My name is Anna, and I just have one question. Is my friend on this meeting? He's supposed to be here, Edin Salkic, because his English is better than mine.
What's his name again?
Edin.
Oh, yes, he's here. Let me unmute him. Okay. Okay, he is unmuted. And then you are unmuted.
Please present your case.
I see that he was just speaking, but I don't hear him.
You guys hear me?
Oh,
Yes.
There you go.
Uh-huh.
Awesome. Hey, sorry about that. I'm in the car actually, but I'm trying to help my neighbor and friend, Mr. Enver Kunic, obtain approval to build the carport, on the right hand side of his house, which kind of like, is in need of a pushback of the 10 feet required setback to 7 feet. Enver has done an incredible job in updating the property there on Cramper Lane and with renovations and with this family of 3 kids growing up really quick and in need of additional cars and car space. Enver is looking kind of like to build this carport, and he has already invested a lot of money in kind of like getting the building permit. I think we are just waiting on this approval to be able to finalize the building permit. And as a neighbor, I think it's justifiable because we have a lot of space there in the neighborhood to construct such a carport, but also is a really low traffic street. So I don't think it will hinder anybody by having Enver the additional, I guess, driveway and carport.
Is there a particular hardship for the need for the carport to be, to have that setback?
The hardship is, Enver has 2 kids, college kids, of one in college right now, and then the second one is about to get to college. So additional cars instead of having them on the street parked and hindering the traffic, the slow moving traffic, having the additional kind of like, driveway and the carport will certainly help keeping the cars off the street.
Okay.
This request was in, I believe, in April. He requested a side yard of 3 feet and it was denied. So he has narrowed the carport. So he's asking for a side yard of 7 feet.
You have any questions, Justin? I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. I guess there's going to be a new driveway that's constructed as well with this.
Correct, Justin. It's going to be a new driveway, just, to be able to enter the carport that's going to be constructed. Yes. I mean, guys, we have a neighbor in the beginning of the street, and I guess he parks cars all the time on the street. As a neighbor of Enver, I'd rather have him kind of like construct the driveway, the additional driveway, and keep the cars off the street than kind of like, having his kids park the cars on the street, to be honest with you.
Okay.
The street is narrow and it is difficult when there's, cars coming from the opposite direction. And there are cars parked on the street. It's pretty tight.
Do you have any more questions, Justin?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, is there anyone in favor or opposition?
I don't see anyone.
And there's no easements, staff, that you're aware of.
What was that question, Justin?
I was just asking staff if they're aware of any like easements that this would conflict with.
If there are, they would have to get an easement vacation in order to pull the permit or an easement release.
Okay.
Now, an option they have could be to add concrete to the existing driveway and or widen that driveway out to park cars in the space next to the driveway.
And it looks like maybe, I don't know, did they convert this? Was that a garage originally?
I would think so.
Expanding the existing driveway is not going to allow to cover, the carport will be covered, and it's going to, visually as a neighbor look way better, for the neighborhood than, having something in front of the house just with a whole bunch of concrete. So I don't think it's he's already invested quite a bit of and, pretty much, he has a green light for the building permit pending this approval to go ahead and get it done. Like I said, it would be tremendous help for him, and for the kids having the additional space to park the cars.
Staff, can you go back over to the other side of the, yeah, thank you. No, yeah. There you go. While I sympathize with him, I'm struggling to find a hardship.
I
To
think the
base
hardship
for-
is more, Justin, the hardship I think is more on from the neighbor's perspective. You know, he ultimately can start parking the cars on the street, which is going to be tougher and tougher for us to pass by, although it's not, you know, hugely trafficked, you know, street or traveled. You know, having the additional cars, because there's a house in front of the neighborhood, just the beginning on the street off of Cramper, that ultimately has 4 or 5 different cars parked on the street. It's tough to pass by. So I think that's the hardship from the neighborhood perspective. But then hardship for him, it's kind of like, you know, having the additional spaces and being, you know, safe at night, knowing that nobody's going to hit his cars.
I don't know how you justify it with a hardship. I understand what they're saying with the street being narrow, and maybe there's a hardship there, but the lot is as rectangular as it can be. You know, they've converted the garage, which was intended to be the garage for living space. I mean, it's still 17 foot wide. I don't know. That's probably not even wide enough for 2 cars. So if you just would do a 14 foot wide, you'd need all the required setbacks. So, he's not gonna get 2 cars. He's not gonna get 2 cars. Well, he might, but they're not gonna be able to open their doors. So, at this point, I'm gonna recommend against the variance for 81-21.
Okay, I second it.
That's the end of the agenda for today.
Oh, we're done. Okay, wonderful.
Yes.
Well, that was easy. Okay, well, thank you all. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
And Janet will be back, I think, in 2 weeks.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Alrighty, thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Okay.